What's going on, y'all? This is Mike Brown, and I just wanted to say I hope you and all your loved ones are safe right now. Thank you guys for listening to the show and tuning into the show every week. I appreciate y'all so much for being on this journey with me. And also, if you like the show, please subscribe wherever you listen to this podcast. And also, please leave a comment. Let other people know what you think. Thank you guys so much for listening. This is Mike Brown. This is the Art of Letting Go.
Yo, what up? This is Mike Brown, and this is the Art of Letting Go. Today, I have a special guest in the building. One of the first artists to work with me on music, man. And that had to be at least like 10, 11 years ago. Yeah. And it's so dope to now be coming back around at this point in the journey and working together again, man. You mind introducing yourself to the people?
No doubt. My name is Dee-1. I am born David Augustine Jr., but professionally stage name is Dee-1.
That's what's up, man. So before we go too far, you can either keep your eyes open or close them. And for the listeners as well, you keep your eyes open or close them, but we all are going to take 3 breaths together just to bring us all in the same space. So I'll guide us through those breaths. So breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in one more time. And let it go.
There it is.
Welcome to the show, man.
Thank you, bro. Thank you.
Shoot, last time I saw you, we ran into each other at the airport. But man, I'm curious to know, how has the journey been for you from, I guess, like I said, I moved out of New Orleans in 2009. And shoot, it's 2020 now, but how has your journey been in between those times?
Wow, man, it's been so much that's happened that it feels like a blur sometimes, bro, because every day is action packed. Every day is about balancing a bunch of different segments of my life, all into something that is productive and something that is like functional. And yeah, bro, like I blink my eyes and I'm like, golly, it's been 11 years. And I think about the amount of touring and the amount of traveling and the amount of putting music out or interacting with people or making connections with fans, the amount of tears that's been shed, the amount of mental ups and downs during that time. And it doesn't feel like it's been that long. And I think it's because it's been a real dense, pace that everything has gone at, man. Like when I made a decision to stop being a teacher, and to get into the music full time, that was like a decade ago. And so for me, from that time on, being an entrepreneur, it just ignited a switch in my head, and I flipped the switch into go mode. And go mode, is something where I never fully feel like my job is done. I always feel like there's more to do. So I've had to learn the art of pacing myself, and some people who want to be entrepreneurs, they don't know that this takes more work than having a 9 to 5. But then the flip side of that is some people don't know the art of how to achieve balance in your life. And I've had to learn that stuff in real time, man, over the past decade. So it's been a fruitful journey, definitely. I know that I've just been focused on making tangible impact in people's lives, either through my music or just through my presence. And that never gets old. Every day, the opportunity to make an impact on people's lives, either through my art or through my just through my interactions with them, that has never, like, I haven't had one day of boredom, as an adult, bro. Because
Yeah.
my whole adult life has either been being a teacher or being an artist. And being an artist, it still feels like being a teacher. It just feels like I have a bigger classroom now,
That's exactly what I was gonna say. Like, now your classroom, you touching the masses, and kind of going back to you performing. I remember the first time I saw you perform, you were ripping money up on stage.
Wow.
And yeah, man, and that still stands out to me because like your message has like always stayed consistent in your music, and I'm just curious to know, like, how have you been able, even at the levels that you've reached, been able to like just stay grounded in what you like, your mission?
Yeah, because I knew my purpose before I stepped foot in the music industry. So by the time you saw me on stage, I already put thought into the song that I thought of and the bars that I wrote. And when I went to the studio and delivered them, and when I would practice them and memorize them and get ready for performances, I had already put so much thought into my product before I ever touched a stage or touched a national platform, that my purpose, was solidified. So yeah, it's been very few times that I've just created a piece of art and not thought about what's the purpose for that art. You feel me? So because of that, knowing my purpose has been the key to everything, man. And knowing my purpose makes it to where if I walk in the room with 50 other rappers, a lot of them, they just wanted to be in the room. Unfortunately, that's what we're taught, is that just get in the room and you've made it. And I'm like, nah. What defines if I've made it is, what do I do once I get in that room? And what do I do that has a transformative nature about it? So that has to be the content and the energy and the vibe that I bring, to that room. That determines success. Being in somebody's office or on somebody's label, that never made me feel successful. It's always like, what am I doing when I get in those environments?
Yeah. Has it ever crossed your mind to like sign to a label?
So I did sign to a label for a while. I signed with RCA Records, one of the biggest labels in the whole world, bro. You got Chris Brown signed to RCA. You got A$AP Rocky, A$AP Ferg, G-Eazy, a ton of huge artists, Miguel, Alicia Keys. So I signed with RCA, and the reason why I signed with them is because they saw my track record, and they already saw what I stood for, and they knew what they were getting. So they weren't trying to change me. They were looking to enhance me, doing what I do already. So it made sense at the time, and I ended up signing with them. And I don't have any regrets about that. Once you sign, you realize that there's a lot more to being signed than just having a staff that's ready to push your music, as far as it can possibly go. You realize that it's a lot more involved in being signed than just recording music, giving it to them, and then they push it. So for some artists, that works, and for other artists, that doesn't work. And after signing and after being signed for a few years, I realized that it was actually more beneficial to me to be independent. And I didn't realize it until I was already signed. And I was like, wow, now I can compare. I can compare what it was like being independent and what it's like being signed. And thankful for both opportunities. But I realized that being independent made more sense for me and for my brand as an artist. So I was able to get back independent, and I chose to officially start my own record label now, so that anything I'm doing, I'm not just doing it for myself. I'm doing it for artists that I can ultimately utilize the blueprint that's working for Dee-1 to help enhance their careers. So that's the phase I'm in now, is still pushing myself as an artist, because I have so much more left in me that I want to say on the microphone that the world is going to benefit from. But in addition to just me doing what I do, I'm also, creating a formula that'll be able to work for other artists as well.
Man, that's really dope to hear. It really is.
Yeah.
What advice would you give to like somebody that's coming up? And I think, to be more specific, because not to say, I don't want to put you in a box of being like conscious or anything, but just being authentic to what you believe in. What advice would you give to an artist that is going against the grain and coming up?
Yeah, whatever you think it is that makes you different, that's going to also make you memorable. So don't run away from the things that make you different or that make you stand out. Actually embrace those things. That's what I would tell them, because all the things about me that I knew made me different and separated me from other artists, as far as my lifestyle, as far as what I've been through, as far as how I rap, all the things that made me different, I had a choice to make. I could either embrace those things and double down on them, or I could try to camouflage them and say, man, let me do more of what people want, or more of what people are used to. And giving people what they are used to doesn't have longevity. Giving people what they want at the time doesn't have longevity either. Giving people something that is different, that they ultimately feel like they need, that has a lot of benefits and a lot of staying power to it. So, bro, there's a lot of artists who were rapping in 2009 and 2010 who they definitely aren't still able to do it successfully on a professional level today. And I just think that for a lot of them, it's because they were trying to fit in to what was hot back then. And if you're trying to fit into what's hot at any given moment, what you're doing is you're showing that you're not like that's like if Coca-Cola changed the way Coke tastes every couple of years, because it's like, oh man, there's a new trend out, like there's a new hot flavor. So the baseline of Coca-Cola is going to change. And now it's different if you say, hey, Coca-Cola is going to stay the same, but we'll add additional flavors over time. That's different than saying the actual brand of Coke is going to change based on what flavor is hot in the marketplace that year. There wouldn't be any consistency in the brand that people could rely on. And I think over time, bro, like the same dude I was in 2009, I'm still that same dude in a lot of ways. And I haven't changed. If anything, I've just enhanced what my foundation was back then. And that gives people, that gives a consumer or a fan a level of confidence in your brand, because they know that you are like, you're solid, you're consistent, and they don't have to worry about, case in point, people know that I don't curse in my music. I haven't cursed in my music since my first official album, David and Goliath. I haven't been cursing in my music. So there's some people who know, man, if I want to hear some dope hip hop that's not going to have any curse words in it, I could turn Dee-1 on. But if I was to switch that and say, man, you know what? I see other artists that are succeeding on a super large level and they cursing. Let me just try it out and see what works for me. It would actually backfire on me, because the consistency that my brand has as far as being known for something, I would be confusing people at that point. So I never wanted to be like that, bro.
Yeah, hearing you say that, I feel like that's why we rock. With me, I rock with an artist like Jay-Z so much, because it's like he's consistently grown, stayed the same, and just grown within his art. So I definitely understand that. But man, just listening to you, like, aside from music, like, where do you feel like your confidence and like just I guess your self-awareness, like where does that come from, and how do you feel like you develop that?
I would say that like when I was in high school, my confidence came from positive affirmations that I would get from people around me, man. Like if I'm just being honest with you, yeah, my confidence, it wasn't something that I just walked in middle school with, like, hey, I'm the man, but it came from people around me saying, like, man, you know what, you're a cool dude, or you're pretty intelligent, bro, or like you're a dope basketball player, or like hearing people around me reaffirm, different personality traits that I may have possessed. That made me confident, man. So because of that, I understand how important it is that we do that for others in the world, because I'm not one of those people who can say that, like, my confidence came from just this immense amount of self-esteem that I've always possessed, or I just naturally had this swag about me to where I just knew I was that dude. Like, nah, like I didn't. And it continues to be that way, to where in adulthood now, I'm confident, and I know why I'm confident in who God created me to be. But coming up initially, bro, the confidence came from other people. So imagine if I'd had a circle to where people build me up, but they constantly talk down on me and tore me down. That would have led to me being far more self-conscious and less confident. So, shout out to all the people who helped build me up, man, because they really instilled the confidence in me, and that would be my parents, my grandparents, even friends who would who would just, like, say nice things about me. It made me be like, oh, where you think I'm smart? Well, all right, I must be smart, because that's my only frame of reference, is what people are telling me about myself. Even teachers, bro. That's why humanity is so codependent upon one another, because just like I had teachers build me up and make me feel how smart I was, I also had teachers who made comments. They may have made a comment one time, and they might not remember it to this day, but I still remember it 15, 20 years later, because it's like, man, that teacher told me something, and it really stuck with me. And it really either built me up or broke me down, and I can remember those things. So that's why we got to be kind to one another, man, because it's other people's affirmations or condemnations that shape the way someone feels about themselves oftentimes.
I agree with you, man. And you mentioned teachers made me think of myself, because this was my first year teaching music for elementary school. And like, my focus has really been on not so much the skill of music, but just the expression of it, because I feel like the focus of skill kind of leads to looking for validation or feeling invalid about it. But I was curious to know, you as a music artist, what do you feel like a kid should be learning in music right now?
What should a kid be learning in music? You talking about a kid who is who's taking, like, formal music classes?
Yeah,
like
more so like in school. Yeah, in school.
School. Yeah. So I think that knowing the fundamentals is important in anything you're doing, like in sports, in music, every subject that they teach us in school. It's important to know the fundamentals. So, because an understanding of the fundamentals then allows you to inject your creativity and your style and your way of how to, embrace and enhance what it is that you're being exposed to. So I think that you need, as a kid, you need a fundamental, foundation of just the history of music, the history of whatever instrument you may be learning about, understanding the role that music plays. I think that fundamentals and purpose are important when it comes to music. So knowing the different ways in which music is used and the different roles that music can play, in different in different walks of life, like music can serve this function or it can serve this purpose. I think that's important. But then also just understanding the fundamentals of sound and how sound is created, how sound can be manipulated. I think that's important as well. And from there, people are always going to run to what's most attractive to them about a certain subject. So if it's music, people are gonna naturally gravitate towards, if it's horns that are most attractive to them, they're gonna gravitate to wanting to know more about horns. But before they do that, if it's hip hop, they're gonna gravitate to wanting to know more and more about hip hop and the type of hip hop beats that exist. But at the foundation of that, I think it's important that they know where all of that stuff comes from, and know the purpose. Like the purpose of, because music, just like a lot of things in life, it has multiple functions. And
D, you still there?
Yeah.
Hold up. Oh yeah. I kind of lost on the last part.
On the last part, I believe I was just saying that it's important that a kid knows the multiple functions and the multiple purposes that their music, can potentially have as well, man. Like the different ways that you can use music depending on what walk of life you are currently involved in, about how music can be, can be used to have an effect on people's moods, how music can be used to enhance the presentation of something. Like when you watch TV, you'll notice that pretty much every commercial has some type of musical bed in the background, and understanding, the psychology behind that stuff. I think that's important for kids to know, because the more that we have our kids asking why, the more intelligent they're going to be in the long run. So, the more they're asking why and they're being educated as to why something is like this, the better off they'll be.
That's what's up, man.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm definitely trying to tap more into like the social and emotional learning with music, because at least for myself, I know sometimes like my feelings have been so complex that it's not easy to put in words. And sometimes the music can take all of those emotions in one and be that expression,
Most deaf. Now
Yeah.
That's why a lot of us do it, bro. That's why you hear that over and over, man, from musicians, is the music allowed me to express something that the conversation, couldn't quite pull out of me. I was trying to talk to people about it, but I couldn't really talk to them about it. But I was able to make music that expressed how I felt. Like that's powerful, and I hear that more and more as I talk to artists and musicians.
Yeah, and honestly, man, I feel like if that's taught early, like who knows what the future of music will look like. You know what I mean? Like it may not be about what was quote unquote hot at the moment, and it may really be about truly just artistic expression of yourself. What do you feel like the role of an artist is? Like being a recording artist, a musician, or whatever title, the industry puts on that person. Like, what do you feel like the true role of that position is?
I think it's to create from an honest place, man. Like as long as you're creating from an honest place, I don't think you can go wrong. The thing about industry is industry can cause people to create from a place that is rooted in wanting commercial or financial success. And sometimes people might say, oh, what I need to create to be most successful is actually not something that is honest, but it gives me the best chance to succeed, financially. And that right there, that's tough. That's tough. But I think that the role of an artist or the responsibility is to create from an honest place, bro. Like as long as you're creating from an honest place, I think that it will definitely reach who it was meant to reach. You feel me? Yeah.
Yeah. And it's like, I definitely agree with you, but it's just also interesting, like how us as humans, how we put that pressure on artists to like be, pretty much everything for us, especially when we believe in a certain artist. Like I've been seeing like J. Cole getting backlash for like, I guess not speaking up on Twitter or Instagram or something, but it's like at the same time, he's just a human being. You know what I mean?
Right. Hold on a second. Let me see. Yeah, you still there? There we go.
Yeah, I'm here. No, you good.
Okay. Mm-hmm. But yeah, bro, it's tough because a lot of times people want artists to do things that they want the artist to do, and that doesn't mean that the artist is even the best spokesperson. Like Dave Chappelle just stated in his piece that he did on Netflix, like right now he feels like, no, this is time for the people to speak up. This isn't time for him to be the spokesperson for the people. And, man, that's powerful, bro. When you think about that, that's powerful. That's powerful, bro. I think that as an artist, yeah, bro, long as you're creating from an honest space, I think that is perfectly fine. Like everybody isn't going to. That's the only time I have problems with artists, bro, is when I know for a fact that they're not creating from an honest space, but to where they've mastered the industry, financial, commercial side of the game. They've mastered the industry side of it, so they know how to reach a ton of people, a ton of impressionable fans, but they're not creating art from an honest space. I think that's the part where I get upset, because I feel like, dang, it's almost like you hacked the system. Like you don't care about even the craft. Oftentimes you just care about the rewards that you can reap from manipulating and kind of hacking the code of how to reach people through this industry, but you don't really care about the art or the craft at its core. So you're willing to do anything that you have to do to say what's gonna cause people to financially support you and what's gonna sell. And that's tough, man. That's tough being a hip hop artist when I see people doing that, man, because it makes a mockery. Number one, out of the craft, it makes a mockery out of the craft, bro. Like it it messes it up for people who do really care about the impact of our words and who care about pushing the genre and the culture forward. You know, it's okay if you have a different experience than me, a different life experience, different upbringing. That's what we don't have to always talk about the same stuff. But there's people who, for some people, they just make a complete mockery out of it, bro. Like I look at 6ix9ine as one of those people. Like 6ix9ine, the artist, the dude Tekashi. Yeah, he's just a dude that's like, I'm letting y'all know that for me, just a way to go ahead on and get rich. Like, I don't about the message that's being put out there. I don't care if there's 100% lies in the art that I'm creating. I have figured out how to tension of the masses, and I'm just gonna keep putting stuff out that I know will be entertaining and keep them talking. I don't care about anything else. I don't care about the residual damage that it may do, or I don't care about anything else. Like, I got the shoulder and I hacked into this game, and I'm going I got the code, you know, to keep work. But I definitely feel like, you know, man, that's something that compels me to work even harder, because I'm just like, I bet be the change that you want to see. I'm never gonna be that dude that's just complaining about this artist and this artist and this artist. No, if I call certain behaviors or certain things out in people, you best believe that I'm going to also exhibit the change that I would like to see through my art and through my craft. So I feel like that's what I've been doing my whole career, bro. Especially coming from New Orleans. Like I feel like I've made it to where a kid coming up doesn't have to say, like, man, if you nobody from New Orleans ever made it, you know, who was on some positive stuff or who was on some real stuff or who was rapping about God or anything. I feel like that's a big part of what I wanted to do, is to show people that it's 100% possible to be a man of God, to be educated, to be a black dude, and to not have to fit into this narrow definition of what was seen as a real New Orleans dude. You know what I'm saying? Like no, you got to expand that definition of what you consider real, because now you got these kids growing up thinking, if I want to be real, I got to be like those 4 artists right there, because they're the standard for what real is. And that's going to lead you, you know, that's going to lead you to emulate what they represent or what they do. And I feel like there's more to life than just a couple people that were identified as real growing up from here, especially on the music scene. So that's been important for me, man, is to understand that I'm a symbol for something much greater than just myself. Like, I'm not just doing this for me. You feel me?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Man, I got 2 more questions for you.
Okay.
The first one is, what would you tell Dee-1 10 years ago his future would look like if you were to go back and talk to him?
Yeah, I would say that you don't have to worry. 10 years ago, the question was if I was going to make it in the rap game. I would go back and say, you don't have to wonder if, because you will make it in the rap game. You will be successful. And if anything, continue to be more and more bold about what it is that you represent and what it is you stand for. Like don't try to be someone who is going to focus on trying to appeal to everybody, because you'll never appeal to everybody. But the people who love you, like, that's the ones that you focus on, because they're going to love you for being you. So just double down on your message and on what you represent. I would tell myself that. I would also tell myself that this is a lifestyle that, you know, that's going to cause it's going to cause a lot of relationships to suffer, you know, if they don't understand that this is a lifestyle, this isn't a job. So I would tell myself 10 years ago, like, be okay with some relationships, you know, ending, some friendships, some business partnerships ending if y'all, you know, if y'all view this differently. Because for some people, this is just a hustle. For some people, this is just a means to get some attention, man, and to be able to, get some clout. And for me, it's a lifestyle. So the people who are going to be most closely connected to me are the people who are understanding that it's a lifestyle, you know, as well, and who are down, honestly, to be involved in that lifestyle. You know what I mean? Like, and I don't mean they got to be in the studio with me writing and recording rhymes, but mission vision, which is what I started, you know, identifying my movement as a decade ago. I said, it's about having mission vision. Mission vision is about an ever-growing relationship with God. It's about using your skills and your talents to make this world a better place. And it's about striving to be real, be righteous, and be relevant in everything you do. For me, the people that I'm gonna continue to, you know, like, see eye to eye with are gonna be the people who to that as well in their life, and they pledge allegiance to having mission vision in their own life. That's the people I'm going to continue to be able to relate to. Anybody else is just going to be seasonal, and I have to be cool with that, you know. And I would have told myself that, man, because I've tried to force some relationships to continue when it's like, yo, they're not meant to continue, because for that person, they weren't in this for the same reasons I'm in it. So naturally, we're gonna come to a fork in the road, and we're gonna take different routes at a certain point. And I'm the dude who, I think sometimes I find myself taking a fork in the road, and certain people around me take another fork. And because I want them so bad to still continue to be a part of this, I'll run towards the side that they took and try to grab them and hold their hand and be like, come on, like, come this way. Or I'll stop walking down my fork in the road and just post up and be, you know, like, yelling at them, trying to get their attention, saying, yo, no, and trying to convince them to come this way. Meanwhile, I've stopped moving forward because I had to stop and plant my feet and yell at them, and I'm trying their attention. And this is a game that is moving and cycling through new people and all that stuff. So, you know, bro, that's something I would have done differently, man. Like, you know, it's a narrow road that I've chosen to walk down.
Hey, man, that's so real. And I kind of needed to hear that today as well. So I appreciate you sharing that.
Yeah.
What's one piece of advice or one lesson that you could share with the listeners?
One piece of advice that I could share with the listeners. Is this just about life, or is this about music?
just about life that you gained on your journey?
Okay. I know that the most important thing is to understand that we each have a purpose, and the way that you tap into your purpose is you think about your God-given gifts. These are the things that you are naturally skilled at, the things that you're naturally passionate about. And once you can identify what they are, we have to figure out how can we use those same gifts to make this world a more loving, unified, you know, better place. Like what is the purpose that those gifts were designed for? Because we get a lot of fulfillment when we're doing things that we're good at, or we're doing things that we're passionate about. We experience that fulfillment, and it feels great. But then walking in our purpose entails using those same gifts, using those same passions that we have for the betterment of humanity and for the purpose that God had them designed for. And then what you find is that life is this journey to where, number one, you'll never be bored because there's always something that you can do to sharpen that iron a little more, or to make your gifts a little more, a little more powerful, a little more potent. There's always something more you can learn and whatnot. But then there's always a lot of people in this world who can benefit from you using your gifts and your talents and your passions for the purpose that God designed them for. Like that's something I would tell people. That's in the music industry and outside the confines of the music industry. Yeah.
That's what's up, man. Man, thank you so much for coming on the show today. Like, I really do appreciate you coming through.
It's all love, my brother. Like I said, man, long overdue, man.
Man.
I'm thankful. I was looking at, you text me on my birthday, and I think it got caught up with just a bunch of people texting me, and I saw, and I was randomly sliding through my phone, and I saw your name. I said, man, I never hit Mike back. And when I thought about it, I said, man, this is a perfect time, though, bro. Perfect time to hit you up and be able to share this conversation with you, man. And I look forward to continuing to talk and catch up, bro. Because
absolutely,
we both got teaching in common. We both got music in common. Like, we've always just, even from a decade ago, bro, there's always been a commonality there, man. That I think allows certain people to be able to vibe and connect. And it's a thing. It's almost like one when you see them. Like, like, oh, okay, we cut from that same type of mental cloth, and yeah, bro, I get that. I appreciate that about you, and that's what I'm focused on, is like continuing to create this power circle to where it's full of that type of synergy that exists between people who understand not only the art of letting go, but the art of building up one another. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, bro, like both of them know, man, the art of, because we all got things that we got to learn to let go. And we all got people that we got to learn to build up, So,
yeah, man, I appreciate that, for real. Mm-hmm. Can you let the people know where they can find you?
Yeah, anybody. You can find me on all social media platforms at Dee-1 Music, DEE, the number 1 music. Also, I'm on Patreon. That's something I've been doing since quarantine, and I'm super excited about that. It's like, that's a platform where I offer exclusive content to my most diehard supporters who want to figure out, like, hey, what's the best way that we can support you directly, Dee-1? Like, we stream your music and all that, but how can we most directly support you? It's a subscription-based platform. So same thing, patreon.com/Dee-1 Music, DEE, the number 1 music. And on all the streaming platforms, when you're looking for my music, it's just spell my name out, Dee-1, DEE dash the number 1. So yeah, man, I ain't hard to find. Yeah.
Man, D, I appreciate you coming through. I appreciate y'all listening. This is Mike Brown, and this is The Art of Letting Go. Peace.
My guy.
Thank you for tuning into this week's episode of The Art of Letting Go. If you like what you heard, please be sure to subscribe to us wherever you listen to this podcast, and leave a comment. Let us know what you think. Let other people know what you think as well. If you want to get in touch with us, hit us up on all social media at The Art of Letting Go Podcast. Also, you can send me an email, theartoflettinggopodcast@gmail.com, or give us a call. Leave a message. We might play it on the show. 213-394-2773. Also, if you would like to support The Art of Letting Go, we got some really cool merch, as well as we're now on Patreon. You can find us, The Art of Letting Go Podcast. Subscribe to us. Thank you guys for listening. This is Mike Brown, and this is The Art of Letting Go.